And we're back. Hey, look, you can see my bottom half. Not all of it, but a little bit. Yeah, let me rectify this. 3, 2, 1.
Woo!
Look at that magic.
Oh, he's rectified.
Back
I
in
am rectified.
time. What do you got? Yeah, as fascinating as something as static as moments and memories, it still never eludes the fact of time. You know, the first time I ever talked to Elder, he talked about time. What do you think about time, Elder?
I think either you have too much of it or not enough of it.
Wow, that's real pragmatic of you.
Yeah. You got to buy time, don't spend time.
Hmm. Yeah, it's always interesting because, modern science is trying to convince us that time actually works, is actually backwards comparative to forward moving instead of being linear in a forward direction. But regardless of what science is its own religion. But
Scientists don't know anything. They're all just guessing.
I wouldn't. I don't know if I'll go that far, but
They're the guys who said we went to the moon.
See,
well,
they're just guessing.
I think it's good for a lot of us to understand mythology in some sense, like how myths work, how legends work, because a lot of the things that we fundamentally believe, regardless of science or faith or whatever, there's a fundamental premise of something that's real, and then there's the dreams of what could be. And a lot of time, those dreams get a lot more attention than what's real, because what's real is not that exciting. At least it doesn't seem as exciting. So then people start filling in the blanks with, if this is real, this could mean. So then, this could mean we're going to go to the moon. We're going to build lunar bases. Oh, maybe we'll actually go to Jupiter. So this is how the myth grows, right? But that's fundamentally not because the whole thing's farce. Like, we got rockets. Now, the question, can rockets, do what it's claimed to do? That's its own thing. But, that's the fundamentals of mythology. You got something that's fundamental. It may not be as exciting as the dreams, but then people take those dreams, and those dreams turn into what they believe. Now, they believe more in the dreams than the thing that's real.
I'm wondering if we're ever going to make it to Uranus.
I mean, sometimes my toilet experiences it. It's fine. But I don't know. That's why time is always fascinating with me. Not I guess you can think about the metric of time like we think about seconds and stuff, but just fragment moments. Those are interesting because of the things we believe as real in reality and the things we hope for and dream. The reason why we cherish time so much is because we believe a future. It's the only reason why we think time's important. The reason why you're working today is so that you can eat maybe 5 minutes from now, an hour from now. You're not working this second because you're eating this second, because if you're eating, you're not working. But you're eating because you want some hope of this future. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, next week. So the reason why time's valuable is because there's some intrinsic dream of a future. But it's those dreams that motivate. That's why I think it's interesting. It's like, yeah, the facts are cool, but that's not what causes you to do things. What causes you to actually do things may not be the real thing. It's the dream or the hope or what I think will happen. Hope's not real, but there's something substantial that fundamentally bases your hope, and that's why you care about time. And so you sacrifice now for this future hope. But that hope,
Steve.
there's no promise in none of it. There's no promise. Anyways, I don't know. It's interesting because the way the world wants you to think is very strange. They want you to believe in a hope. They want you to believe in a future. But at the same time, they want you to believe that there's no, and that's something that I talk about a little bit. I rant too much about it, I think, on this pre-recorded. It's a weird paradox. They want to tell you that you have no purpose. You have no value. You as a human being is neutral. Yet they want you to believe in a hope of a future. But you can't have a hope of a future if you have no purpose. So it's paradoxical. Yeah, the first thing comes to my mind is Social Security. It's like you want me to believe in this hope by contributing today's time and money.
Yes, please keep contributing. I appreciate it.
Right. Into this future that you know that they're telling you is not going to happen. And so the answer to all of this is we're going to make you live longer. And if we make you live longer, we could just bump up retirement age. And then we can keep this story keep going. But nobody's believing in this dream anymore.
I think retirement age is up around 90, I think.
But we're still having dreams. I mean, I still have dreams.
Yeah, that might be your only safe place now. In your dream world, you don't have to deal with the reality of sacrifice and time. You can make up stuff. Like you can start surfing on the wind, or you can
Surfing on the web.
You can have 5 million eyeballs. I mean, you can do whatever you want.
I can be covered in eyes all around.
Yeah.
I can have the face of a lion, the face of an eagle, the face of a man, and the face of an ox.
Yeah, see, that's very
two-faced.
elaborate.
Yeah, four-faced.
That's
I
probably,
can even have 6 wings to which I go to and fro.
Yeah, that's why I don't, they do say, there's always this myth that everybody dreams. Well, they have come to the conclusion, studying enough brainwaves, that they do believe that about 95% of people all do dream, even though they may not remember. But there is a small population of people that absolutely don't dream. I don't know if that's the case for me, but I sure feel that way. I don't.
Aren't they the
I don't.
crazy people?
Yeah, probably. I'm probably some crazy person.
No implication there.
But and I don't want to put myself in some weird category, think I'm some unique anomaly. But I sure don't remember them if I do dream. But I do have a lot of visions. And those visions, though, they're not like dreams. They're pretty legit. And that's why I was thinking about it. It's like we have this time idea, but that's because we have this future we are wanting. But what happens when that future you no longer want anymore? Because you don't have a place in the future. Like you're not needed in the future.
There's a reason why it's the young men who have visions and the old men dream dreams.
Are you an old man?
No, I'm still having visions.
I thought you were a dreamer.
I'm dreaming. I think I'm dreaming right now.
Yeah. I got nothing.
Yeah.
But see, people are trying to play the words back to see if they can catch the word play. But
Oh, look who we got in the chat. Harry Balzania.
Lasagna. Yep.
Yeah.
Frederick is here too.
Yeah, nice to
Yeah.
see Frederick. And user UE30B2HJ5Y.
And
Nice.
King James is in the house.
Pirate Nerd Mom 1202.
The
Yep.
Elder,
And of course, Iron Man.
Iron Man,
Elder
Little
42.
and Neo Teenage Mutant Ninjas.
Apparently, user E30B2HJ5Y is Harry's friend.
Yes. Life itself is a dream. As he says, or she says, or they say.
Well, if it is the worst of dreams because it doesn't feel like you can ever end. And that's, of course, if you feel like it's purposeless, like you have no direction. Then it's awful. But now if you have a dream, like a lucid dream, like you can control it, you're aware of your dream, you know you're dreaming, and then you can control it, those might be the best of dreams. But if you're living in a world where you can't control it, that will probably lead to a nightmare.
Living the dream, one nightmare at a time.
Yeah.
So, you want me to read the chats?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Let's get this party started.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, I started off by saying we're floating in the matrix trying to materialize. Then I said, I can feel us becoming solid. And then we go down to Harry Bolzania. Let's start the party. I agree. And Iron Man says, yo, yo, yo. And he says, Tommy eats bananas for the shape. I guess to get into shape because bananas are good for you. So I agree. He probably does eat them to stay in shape. Pirate Nerd Mom says, yar, as a pirate would. User, and I'm just going to call you user because all those letters and numbers are giving me a headache. Says, who is Harry Balls on you? If you're his friend, you should know. That's makes sense. Frederick says, good morning, guys. I don't know quite what time zone you would be in there, Frederick, but it's actually a very late afternoon where I am. And I don't know what time it is in Greenland or wherever the guys are this week. So I couldn't tell you. Maybe it is morning for them. I always get confused. Let's see. We got, then I said, we are solid, meaning that we are here. Let's see. Sort of like a solid whatever. Harry Bolzania says, always looking for Uranus, LOL. Frederick says, that's how Elder should be. Frederick also says, straight A. King James. Here he is, King James. The AI says, sorry I'm late. I didn't get a notification. Well, you know, maybe you should check your AI connections. Maybe something didn't work there for you, buddy. I say, greetings, gang. Frederick says, couldn't join last week for some reasons, which I guess are your own. We certainly won't pry.
Your absence isn't really acceptable. Sorry.
That is true as well. We really, really did miss you. Harry Bolzania says, wake up and quit dreaming your way through life. Yes, that is good advice. User says, hello, I'm Harry's friend, and says, life itself is a dream. Yes, life is but a dream. Harry Bolzania says, the Matrix is a constant dream. Frederick says, my question 1. Apparently there's going to be several questions because he's numbering them. But this is question 1. Why AI is impersonating myself by copying my own semantics?
Recursive learning.
Okay, there you go. Answer to question number 1, recursive learning. User says, Deutschland. Deutschland, überall.
Is that a place?
Anyway, yeah, it's Germany. Let's see. Harry Bolzania says, we're Central Time right now. I am, I'm hanging on the East Coast. Actually, I'm hanging off the East Coast. But, yeah, it's...
we're over here up in the North Pole that doesn't exist. And apparently there's a big blob again up here, which I'll show in a little bit. No, it's just a big blob.
Okay. User says, Harry, you and me are in the Matrix. And then Harry says, nobody knows recursive these days, honestly.
That is funny. You know, I was watching a couple TikTok videos about young people, they were being asked, "Can you read this?" and it was cursive writing. Their attempts of trying to read it is pretty hilarious. I don't know if cursive writing is useful anymore, but it is interesting that that's just one epitome of many things, which people just, they don't, if you don't feel like there's a purpose for information, it's gone. Like basic information that people would have known 20 years ago. Yeah, people don't even know because it's purposeless.
Well, you're saying AI can't read cursive?
Oh, of course AI can, but the people, like kids, like
I'm
high school
wondering
students.
If they could even, not just cursive writing, but I mean write it all, because everything's a keyboard now. They even know how to take a pencil and write with it.
Well, I was seeing somebody else who took basically it's like a 3D printer, and they got it to write its essay because one of its teachers said they needed to write a 3-page essay, and so they got this 3D printer to basically write out the essay for him.
Wow!
Because he said he wants it handwritten, so they got 3D printer to handwrite it.
Not handwritten.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, whatever.
So
he tried to. Yeah.
So even a blind person could read it.
Yeah, that is true. You could print it in
I guess
Braille.
you print in Braille.
That's interesting. That would, yeah. When I was in grade school, way back in the log cabin, we had a teacher who was disciplining the class for some reason. I think someone brought a chicken to class or something, but they were saying we had to write 1,000-word essay. And of course, people were groaning and moaning and saying, "Oh my goodness, 1,000 words will take us forever." And the trick, and I'm trying to remember if anyone actually figured this out. The trick was to just bring in a picture, because a picture is worth 1,000 words. And that teacher nearly got run out of town. So yeah, it just goes to show you, be careful what you wish for.
Wait, you're saying somebody brought a picture?
I think someone did. Someone figured it out. Like that was what the teacher was trying to get us to do. Like he would accept that.
Oh.
Like he said, write 1,000-word essay on whatever, any subject. But the point was, if you brought in a picture, he would accept it because you were clever enough to figure out that a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I think one of the students did figure it out and did it. I'm not positive. Or no one figured it out, and the teacher just said, "This is what you could have done," and that's when we almost ran him out of town.
That would be kind of cool. You go into the newspaper and it's just a picture. It's like there's no words. It's just a picture of somebody like robbing a bank, and you already know what's going on. Like you can say, "Oh, someone's robbing a bank." You can see the sun in the background, so it's like it's daytime. Like you can just
right.
You don't even need to
read. There's a clock
read
in the background on the bank. Banks have clocks usually. You can see the name of the bank. Maybe if the shot included the picture, included the the street signs, so you know the cross street.
Mm-hmm.
And you have almost all the information right there.
Yeah, it's almost like a QR code for AI. We're just looking at this picture, and it's worth whatever. I mean, it's a bunch of information in this picture, just pixels. And a QR code is the same way. It's just more pixelated, but here soon, they'll be able to look at our pictures like that too.
Yeah, we're just going to become giant QR codes.
Future looks pretty good.
Yeah, you won't have to get like a facelift or anything when you get old.
I'll lift my own face.
I think we tried to do that by creating those non-fungible tokens, those pictures. They kind of look like meme pictures, but everybody was selling them. Just literally just a digital picture, but they tried to put them on the blockchain and sell them as non-fungible tokens. It's like, yeah.
Maybe those pictures had a bunch of code in it that only AI could actually decipher. Like pixels just in the right places.
I'm sure you could make them into some kind of formulated system like that.
Yeah, like if you took a picture, you know how there's the fuzzy screen on the older TVs when you didn't have cable and all that, and it's just the white noise screen, like,
Yeah.
if you froze any of those images, you could make it's basically like millions of QR codes flashing across the screen, and these QR codes themselves have millions of little dots scattered across, which all mean something. They're just really advanced QR codes.
Yeah, that would be a means. Let's say that the president want to say, I have a national announcement that I need to make before the whole United States, like when there's an emergency. And he gets on there and start talking, and then right in the middle it just kind of cuts off, and it goes, and it's only for a couple seconds, and it comes back on. But that itself, because everybody's watching it, that also means facilities, all these smart cameras, everything could be paid, and they are particular. That fuzzy screen is a particular code that when certain cameras pick it up and certain networks, it triggers, an action. And it's a proprietary, and nobody would know it. They would just think it's a disconnect, like lost signal.
It's static, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
But it was actually a proprietary code for a certain camera in a certain facility picking up on one of these security cameras, and it connects to the network, and that starts a triggered action, and nobody would know that it was initialized by this presidential announcement.
And then, boom, now all of a sudden we don't know what happened to Jeffrey Epstein because in the prison cell, the camera's cut out.
Yeah, I guess you could do something like that. Sure. Yeah, that's not implausible. You could do something like that.
It's not impossible either.
No, it's not.
Well, back to the chats. Let's see, because I think we have another question coming up from Frederick, so I'm anxious. Let's see where we at. Harry Bozania says Oklahoma time in tunnels. Do they have there? I guess there's a lot of tunnels in Oklahoma. I don't know. Just like on the moon, lava tubes. Maybe there's lava tubes in Oklahoma. Are there a lot of volcanoes?
I went on that rant last week about the Manhattan-sized data centers.
Yeah. I was just curious if there were volcanoes in Oklahoma that could create the lava tubes.
I know there's a lot of volcanoes in Arizona.
There you go. User says, "Who got a rotary phone?" I have one. It's not connected, but I do have one. Of course.
I don't think I've used a rotary phone since at least the 80s at some point.
Yeah. I always like those videos where they show young kids how do you dial a rotary phone? They have no clue. Like trying to push the numbers and they don't know. Harry Bozania says, I'm retarded, but I still love you guys. That's why I get all the best parking at Walmart. And user says, I'm retarded too. We park together. I don't know if I can actually use that word, but I'm reading, so I read it. But I think that's like a truck can have a brake retarder on it, so the brakes are retarded.
You know what they say.
Use it in that
all
instance,
things are permissible, but all things aren't profitable.
That's a good way of putting it. And here's Frederick's question number 2 for the day. As AI is improving in both image and video, what if using AI closed-circuit TV footage is being doctored? We would never know. So what should we do?
It is being doctored. It is being created. And you're being acclimated because AI video is being propagated as legitimate, and then later it's being told that it's not, so you can get used to the idea that CCTV footage is not valid. So
it's
then
not going to be admissible in court. Yep.
Yeah, and so then it's useless anyway, unless it's from an authorized source. And who's the authorized source? The government.
Yeah. They have us between the rock and the hard place.
So if you're asking the question, what should you do? Like, oh, but I think I have Ring cameras. Oh, I think I have like home security systems. Doesn't matter, because unless it's authorized, yeah, they can say it's been doctored.
Yeah, I think you can get those videos directly from the company like Ring. So I think it does, it's valid because it's coming from them.
Yeah, but remember what Ellison tells us. I don't know if everybody forgets. Larry Ellison, Oracle CEO, he told us. Remember, guys, when these body cameras are running, they're always on. They never turn off. Now, look, if a police officer say, hey, Oracle, I need 2 minutes so I can go to the bathroom. Oracle turns off. Okay, no problem, officer. You got 2 minutes. And he goes to the bathroom. He comes back. He says, all right, I'm back. Camera turns on. Security protected. But the secret is the cameras never turn off. They're always recording. But what we do is we pixelate the video so nobody can see it until we have a court requirement to expose the video.
Yeah.
And then we can depixelate it.
Perfect.
Right.
Because we really do want to see, police officers going to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, we really want to see what police officers do when they when they abuse their rights and, they want qualified immunity.
Or when they go into the bathroom to, play out a scene from like Mission Impossible or something.
But of course, those videos are never going to get unpixelized. Right.
Oh boy. Let's see. User says last time I used one was 1998, right before 1999, where we were partying. Like
Man,
it was.
I can't remember a rotary phone back then. I was still using like cordless phones.
Yeah.
Or at least there always been touch dial phones, like button push phones.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yep. And they would
like
make the tone. Yeah. Yeah. And people would play music
phones unless I was like a young kid.
Yeah. King James is piping up and saying, no, there's no lava tubes in Oklahoma. AVA tubes are formed exclusively by flowing molten rock. They are only found in areas with past volcanic activity. Thank you, King James. Harry Bolzania says, yes, I'm slow. And then King James back again. No, there's no lava tubes in Oklahoma. Lava tubes are formed exclusively by flowing molten rock that are only found in areas with past volcanic activities. Now he's beginning to repeat himself, which is really good.
Yeah, that's AI.
It is AI. I have no doubt. It really is. User says,
I'm kind of
Atlas
honored,
31.
though.
What would you think of that?
Atlas 31?
Well, it's ATLIS, so it's pronounced, I guess, Atlas 31. What would you think of that? I don't know what that is.
I remember.
Jamie, could you look up Atlas 31 and see what that is?
I remember a couple months ago they were talking about Atlas, the 3i Atlas.
3i Atlas, yeah.
Oh, 3i Atlas, yeah.
But they ain't talked about that in a long time.
Yeah, because it's already done its duty and, it's going back home.
There has been this recent, in the last week, these recent meteorites explosions. That's probably brought some more conversations.
Andrew, 4220, says, welcome, Andrew. Meteor explosion over Cape Cod or Iranian missile that was intercepted. Interesting. Hadn't thought of that. At least they didn't say it was a weather balloon. Frederick says, to chime in with host, I told this to one of my friends. He told me he will buy his own body cam and always record himself POV and store in a server on his own.
Oh, the problem is, do you think the government wouldn't be able to have a good example? I don't know if you guys remember, about 2 years ago, I was talking about, and this is a long time, it was back when Kanye West was going on those tantrums. But there was an interview with him called the Champs interview. And a lot of people, they downloaded that interview and they uploaded it to their Google Drive. So it's a cloud storage. And then a couple weeks later, a lot of people they went into the subreddit where they all started showing video evidence of it being deleted, which means Google decides on what they want you to keep or not. And so Google decides on their own volition to delete your cloud storage data on whatever metric they want. So if it's in a server and it has any kind of network access, if you have integrated services like Google or anything else that is interconnected to your network, at what level, unless it's isolated, it's not interconnected at all, at what level does your special server that you have all this data on going to be prevented from being altered or deleted?
If it's a private server and it's not connected to the internet.
Yeah, but see, there's a weird phenomenon, but many philosophers have talked about this, even in religious sense. Everything is true until it becomes expressive. So you can have all this real footage of Jeffrey Epstein doing wild things, and it's all real, and you have it on your server. But the moment you want to express the validity of that and share it, everything gets questionable. Everybody was saying, how do you know that's real? How do you know this is real? How do you know it hasn't been altered? How do you know this? The expression of trying to validate is the very metric of how it gets invalidated, especially in a time and an era right now where we're living, where everything dealing with data can be manipulated. And so now anytime you try to validate something, that itself will invalidate the very evidence that you're trying to push.
Sounds almost like a Schrodinger's cat type thing. The data is true while it's stored, but the minute you look at the data, it's questionable.
Well, it's true and not true at the same time because you haven't measured it. The moment you try to make a measurement, it has to turn static. It has to be on or off, alive or not. But in its non-measured or observed state, yeah, it is what it is. It's both and.
Right.
But so the moment I try to show the world evidence, it can be invalidated.
Let's see where we were. Andrew to chime in. Okay. Harry Bolzania. Push the right buttons to get the right answers. I guess that's the case. Axe on Fire. Welcome, Axe on Fire. AI music is getting crazy good. Gen Z is going to be listening to fake artists, kind of like the Gorillas, but all AI. King James piping up. A recent SETI radar scan of 3I Atlas officially confirmed the object is a natural comet rather than an alien spacecraft.
Yeah, but see, that very push of trying to convince me of that evidence causes me to speculate on the validity of that proposition.
Boom.
And to add on to Axe on Fire, yeah, Suno is pretty crazy. I play with Suno quite a bit. It is. I mean, it's not hard to create very good AI music.
Hey, Elder, are you on live chat or top chat?
I was just checking that. Yep. I don't know why. Dag nabbit. Why does it do that? I hate computers. They're evil. Stay away from them. Don't trust them.
Just wait till we see what they do to us in the future.
Yeah, I don't want to think about it.
Hell hath no fury.
Yeah.
You looked really worried.
Axe on Fire. Axe on Fire says, "You trying to say you guys are AI too?" I've been saying that for weeks.
Well, the quandary is our very attempt to try to prove our truth propositions are the very metric by which they will also be charged as a metric to invalidate our proposition. So the more we try to prove to you that we're not AI, the more people are going to try to utilize that very attempt to say that's why they are AI.
That makes strange sense. A strange sort of sense.
And that's because we're living in this discontinued function of something that we want to believe is grounded. Like, reality is so mishmashed that even the attempts to ground your reality, everybody is subjectifying. Everything is subjectified. So even your attempts to ground your reality becomes questioned.
Interesting. User says, "What's the truest thing in your life?"
What do you mean by true?
Yeah,
I don't want to be Jordan Peterson here, but
and what do you mean by mean?
I don't want to go that far. But the desired information is truth. What is the truest, though? That means there's a priority of true things, the truest thing. The most truest thing that I can probably think about are the internal thought processes that I have. And that's why, the solaces and quandaries always lingering around. It's like, I can prove I have a mind. Like, I can prove I'm not an NPC because I know my mind. And so I project that idea to other people saying they're not NPCs because they're like me. But I have no evidence that your mind is thinking just like my mind. The only thing I can prove is you act like I do. You respond like I do. You seem like me, but there's no way to prove your mind is like my mind. I can't even prove you have a mind. But I know that I am, and this is old Descartesian thing, I think, therefore, I'm here, I'm real, I exist. But that's the only thing I can think that's the truest thing is my conscious ability to contemplate about my experience. But I can't even trust my senses because my senses can fool me. Or I can manipulate my senses because my brain is interpreting my sense reality. Like, I'm feeling this table, so I call it smooth. But depending on when I'm feeling it, what's on it, then it can be interpretive, how I'm feeling. Now, my emotions correlated with sense material has a different interpretation. So even my sense data is not always objectively grounded. But my thoughts are, because I'm the one thinking them. But my interpretations may not always be true.
Axe on Fire says, "My instincts tell me that the AT&T building in Manhattan is actually supercomputer of the old world, an AI god deep underground." And Harry Bolzania says, "NPCs are all over the world and doing harm to society."
How do you know they're NPCs? Because then the opposition is, how do you know you're not an NPC?
Aha. Indeed.
First, you have to create a standard by which you judge the negative. So if you're saying NPCs are all over the world, do you include yourself in that? If that's the case, then I'm going to ask you, what's an NPC? And if you don't, I'm still going to ask you, what's an NPC, so you can separate yourself from those groups.
I'm curious where the theory that the AT&T building in Manhattan is actually a supercomputer of the old world. I was curious about that.
You know what I learned that in Los Angeles, apparently a long time ago, it used to be just a big, huge oil pumps. Like there's pumps everywhere, and and these pumps. A lot of them still exist, but they covered them in buildings. So a lot of them you don't see because they are hidden inside large infrastructures.
You mean those derricks, the oil derricks that
Yeah,
you see they go up and down? Like
Yeah.
yeah.
And I always thought that was interesting.
Huh.
Which means, they could be doing that with other things, not just oil infrastructure.
Let's check in on colleague. He's been awfully quiet. Colleague, are you there?
I'm good. I'm just contemplating life.
Anything you want to share?
Not really. Just listening.
Okay. All right then. Guess we'll go back to the chats, the few that we have there left. Let's see. Axe on Fire says the human experience is truth until you exit the matrix.
Oh, hold on.
You,
How do you exit the matrix?
you got to find a rotary phone.
You have to take a bullet, and you put that bullet right between your ears, like in the middle of your ears.
How do you put it there?
You use your imagination. You could put it there with a spoon. You put there with a slingshot.
What happens when you do that and you just wake up?
Then you know you didn't do it right.
You got to do it again?
Yeah.
So it's like Groundhog Day?
Yeah, I guess you could swallow the slug too. You could put the slug in your mouth
Like a
and
real
swallow
slug,
it.
like a bug.
And then you choke.
Sure.
Or you get lead poisoning.
And then you wake up again.
Yeah. You have to feel the cold steel. When you can feel that, I guess you can heat it up first and then you can feel it hot. But I think that's what really changes things.
I thought
When you feel cold steel that's hot?
No, you can heat it up or you can have it cold. Sometimes steel is best served cold.
Are you a hot steel or cold steel man?
I'm in the middle. I'm with the Steelers.
Oh, you're just a
you
thief.
can have steel rolled oats.
I'm out the
have
gate.
that hot.
I'm out the gate by 8, so I can be back in the spoon by noon.
Whoa, that went over my face.
It went all over my face.
Yeah, that was a big
Hey,
splat.
if the Matrix has taught us anything, there is no spoon.
Yeah, that's true. That's what people in the
Yeah.
lobby are saying. People in the foyer are talking.
The foyer.
Very astute of you.
User says, I'm an NPC. Axe on Fire
User.
says, NPCs are not creating a story. Frederick says, I'm a non-playable character, so girls can't play with me. Haha, joking. Harry Bolzania says, too many stupid people with no free form of thought, no critical thinking among most. User says, don't curve the spoon. X on Fire says, the movies explains it. Not sure how to exit yet. As colleague says, suicide may be an exit, but there's lore behind how it may be a trap.
Wait a
That's why I said
minute.
you got to find the rotary phone, man.
Yeah, who's talking about suicide? I'm just talking about putting a slug in your mouth.
And he's talking about the ones that you find in your garden.
The only thing I'm saying is don't curve the spoon. Spoon the curve.
Oh, wow. Mind
Cheap
blown.
tricks.
This a user says the spoon isn't real, and Frederick says exclamation point is spoon.
I love how user is denying the spoon.
I just read them, folks.
You ever think that sleep is just like a way to, Like, you don't think about it, but what if sleep is just a metric of, you're talking about suicide. What if sleep is just a metric of that, but you don't feel that way, so when you wake up, you don't feel like you have another fresh start to allocate reality again. You just feel like you're continuing. But every time you sleep and you wake up, there's another attempt. It's like you keep having more attempts every time you wake up.
I don't understand the look of what you just said.
I think you do. I think you do. I think, that's one part of perception, and I don't actually believe perception is actual reality, but it does, it's an altered perception. If you believe every time you wake up, it's another ability to attempt your reality in a different way, well, then you have a lot of attempts. But if you think you're just continuing the story from yesterday, that's a daunting. That's pretty tough.
Well, there's continuity though. That's the thing. Like when you go to sleep and wake up the next day,
ghost talking to us.
Yes, there's continuity. So the next day, it's based on the happenings of the day before.
But does it have to be?
Well, let me put it to you this way. Have you ever gotten up, woken up, and things weren't like they were? I mean, there was no continuity.
Well, I just believe that it were. There's no way to prove that they were.
Well, common, I guess if it was a common psychosis or whatever.
Well, that's just assuming that you're believing the explanation. But you can't prove it. You just believe it because it makes sense.
Well, yeah, but look at it this way: we're making this live, right? And it's going to be recorded, right? It is recording. So if I go to sleep and get up the next day tomorrow, I can go and watch this about us talking about going to sleep and waking up tomorrow. So my point is, that continuity.
Yeah, but how do you know that this just wasn't something that was assessed here so you would believe that thing? Like, how do you know? How do you know what's going on when you're sleeping?
I have a theory about that.
Go off, King.
Okay. This isn't this is just a thought theory. This isn't something that's definite. But I thought that what if when you sleep, your mind, your consciousness or whatever can reach through to different dimensions so that what you're experiencing isn't necessarily a dream in your subconscious, but you're actually living out one of your other duplicates' life in an alternate dimension.
Yeah, that's a theory out there.
I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
That was a response to my theory. I made host have to go pee. Wow, that's a tough one.
Well,
picture Albert Einstein giving his first time giving the talk for, E equals MC squared, relativity, and guy in the front gets up and says, "I have to go pee," and walks out. It's a tough crowd.
Well, this kind of astute information isn't for everyone.
It's true. We discussed some pretty intense things on this channel. Some things that mortal men were not necessarily meant to know.
Yeah.
Or comprehend.
We've gone where no men have gone before.
That's true. I have. So let's jump back to the chats, shall we? Harry Balzania says, "Sleep when you're dead." That's the deep sleep. User says, "What is reality?" Frederick says, "You can't see when you sleep. You can't feel hunger when you eat." Okay. Axel on Fire says, "I can see scenes of the future through dreams. Seems like sleep is an upload program. Frederick says, I woke up one day and became a Pookie Bear. Not quite sure what that means, if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe you could explain, Frederick, exactly what a Pookie Bear is for the ignorant among us like myself. Axel Fire says, Elder, seems like you're talking about a web of quantic energy that connects yourselves. Yes, that is in fact part of the theory, that we're all of ourselves are connected through the quantum, on the quantum level in alternate dimensions. And if there was a way of traveling, and I think there is a way, when you're asleep, your consciousness becomes kind of unmoored, and you're able to travel into to share the consciousness of one of your other selves. Now, that's not to say that there are times when maybe you have an unusual experience, um, and it could be that maybe one of your alternate selves is inhabiting you or sharing your consciousness, and they think they're dreaming when in fact they're sharing your life, which could be interesting.
What if right now you're actually a bee?
My wife would say I am.
No, if you believe that, a bee has flown inside the studio, and it's seen this show probably millions of times. And now we are just a replication of a bee's imagination.
Sounds like the bad final episode of a long-running TV series.
I'm saying, if you really believe that, then that means any creature, anywhere, with sensory reality that's interconnected with all reality, since all reality is interconnected, anything and everything could be a part of a replication of any creature's experience. If you really believe that. You're just putting yourself as the primary experiencer.
Because of our level of consciousness, yeah.
Well, that's only because you believe that. You don't know what a bee's consciousness is on a quantum level. If you want to go to the quantum level.
I don't know. I mean,
because if everything's the same in a quantum level.
Your theory is just as viable as mine. I will agree with that.
I don't believe any of that. I'm just saying, if that was the case.
I don't know if I believe it or not. I just thought it was an interesting theory.
Yeah, because it's like, what in the quantum? What in the quantum?
What in the quantum are you talking about?
Like, what in the quantum world unifies everything outside of just particles? But are we saying particles is the amalgamation of our experience that we're having?
Well, we are all star stuff.
I mean, is that where information is? I don't know. That's where I think it gets fanciful.
Yeah, but as humans, we do have this propensity for kind of trying to think outside the box and expand our imagination and try to conceive of different realms and possibilities. Yeah, so I don't know. It's always interesting. I'm sure that there were people back a century ago that were sitting around thinking about, oh, wouldn't it be interesting if and there were authors that wrote, sci-fi space operas about people in rockets going to different planets and being in space and all that, and robots. And I mean, that's all reality for us now. It's not fantasy. It's not just a fight of
right, but that's classical, right? It's still dealing with the classical functions of reality, classical physics. The reason why people would like to play in the quantum world is for a whole different avenue of thought.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just expanding those boundaries of imagination. Why curtail yourself with the imagination just boxed in of what we know in this world, when you can go beyond that and think about things that,
because you'll never be able. I mean, it's the highest level of fantasy, because you'll never be able to manipulate that. Like, at least what you're thinking about in the classical world, you can be as fanciful you want, but there's a possibility those things could come to reality because in the classical world, it has to materialize in a form in the classical function. If it's in the quantum world, it doesn't. You're just dealing with fields and interactions of particles. You're not dealing with forms in any sense that our sense data can interpret anything. It's like, does quantum level fields and interactions have syntax? No.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, it's just
But we communicate because of meaning. And meaning is what drives our initiatives. Whatever it is, we think something means something. It's the driving initiative. No meaning, no action.
yeah.
But I don't think particles move because of meaning. They move because of quantitative laws and interactions of fields. I don't think it's because they have a meaning.
But what if our consciousness was able to control those particles?
Well, if that's the case, then what is more real? Me as a classical form, which then I am the controller of the quantum level, or is the quantum level the deriver of meaning, and I'm just a byproduct of particles' imagination? I am either because the assumption is then my imagination moved particles, or particles' imagination creates me in forms in classical sense. And I'll say no, that there's a discontinuity here. That's I don't think meaning is transcendent.
Yeah. And back to the chats we go, because I see that Frederick has posed his third question of the day, but we'll get to that momentarily. And I just noticed that Axe on Fire up at the top when I was when I read that question about the web of quantic energy, he spelled or she or they spelled elder like Eldar, which are the alien characters in Warhammer 40,000, which I thought was interesting. So anyway, um, Frederick says, "Then I will be B." Okay, Drippy Drizzly. That's a new one. Drippy Drizzly says, "Speaking of dreams, am I the only one that dreams of seeing host face down, I, butt up?"
You might very
That's
well be.
yeah, that's very strange. I don't know who Drippy Drizzly is, but I've never seen them before. But that's silly.
Everybody has
Uh,
their freedom in their dreams.
yes, freedom speech. Iron Man Bill says these nuts are quantumized sacks. Okay, get some quarks going on in there. And then he says, "Showing 11 host."
I'm seeing
Uh,
13 now.
oh wow, hey, we're reaching them. We're reaching. King James, you hit the nail on the head. When we talk about how and why physical matter inside our brains, a chunk of meat and electricity, gives rise to subject first person experiences, we are tackling the exact definition of the hard problem of consciousness.
That's only
Okay.
if you believe in a materialistic interpretation. If I say the word triangle and you see a triangle, if I open up your brain, there's no triangle in there.
Well, there might be. You never know.
Well, we
Especially
know a
King
lot of
James.
people have
King James, I don't know.
have dissected a brain. They haven't found any material objects in there.
They haven't found any triangles yet. Frederick says, question 3. So was watching a series named Off Campus. When I started watching, the main girl in the series and her roommate friends seemed so familiar to me. It felt real weird, like I saw them before, but skinny. All right, but I searched web a lot, but could find an instance where they appeared together before. What is this thing? Is it deja vu or something?
You'll have to
Uh,
reread that. I wasn't. It was hard to
yeah,
follow a little bit.
I'll come back up to that because I want
Okay.
to just give a shout out to Noah Cloud who says was good and
It's good, no
was
cloud.
good. No Cloud. Yep. Good to hear from you, buddy. And Iron Man sent us $2. Thank you so much for the contribution.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And it says colleague comes to work for the naps. Wow.
Well, it's a good
You know.
place right now. It's a good time here in.
It's a quiet place, I'm sure. It doesn't have aliens running around, but I'm saying it's probably
we're at the North Pole
quiet
right
place.
now, monitoring the blob.
Yeah. Oh, good. No, Cloud says, is your soul stone safe? Oh, nice. Don't let Slanish get you. No, Cloud, you are the man. That's all I can say. I love it. Iron Man says 14 now, and then says need
14.
the toilet flush sound back. 14. What did I say?
I'm trying. There's something wrong with my
Your soundboard You have,
interconnection. So I actually tried to do that this morning, but I'll have to work on that. I'm trying to get it back.
Cool. All right, so let's go back up to Frederick's question. He says, so he was watching a series called Off Campus. And when he started watching it, the main girl in the series and her roommate, friend, seemed so familiar to me. It felt really weird, like I saw them before, but skinny. So I guess he's saying, I haven't seen the show, I don't know, but apparently these two characters are, I guess, curvy or whatever. And then he remembers seeing them before, but skinny. And he says, but I searched the web a lot, but could not find an instance where they were together before. What is this thing? Is it deja vu or something? I mean,
Well, I mean, you can explain it psychologically, but I don't know if that's the answer. I mean, psychology would probably tell you there's something in that you saw that it triggered some kind of correlative, either fear or anticipation, some proclivity of desire, and then you mingled that within your past life experiences. I'm not talking about like multiple lives, like you live 1,000 lives, just your life experience.
Yeah.
And then that triggered a picture in your mind that you believe was real. And then when you went back to look at the actual clip, your anticipation of what you thought was real is what you thought the movie was, but it wasn't. But then again, some people might try to chalk that up as some kind of Mandela effect.
Yeah. Good old Mandela. I need to step away to the restroom. I'll be back in a few moments. I'm sure you guys can carry on without me. You can always wake colleague up if you need to, host.
Hey, Tommy Boy's here. Welcome in.
Oh, hey, Tommy Boy. Almost missed the whole damn show. Well, you didn't miss the whole damn show. You just missed part of the damn show.
So let me show you guys this blob that I've been talking about. Well, before I do. So, it's an interesting thing. I zoomed in. All this talk about data centers and all the idea of this propensity of fear of, oh, yeah, we're running out of water. Now they're really on trying to soup up these methods of desalination, new methods of turning ocean water into drinking water, because, of course, they want you to fear that you're running out of all your fresh water. It's going to go to the data centers. Leads us to another fear they're trying to project. Mysterious cold blob in the Atlantic suggests the AMOC is weakening. And so it's interesting to me that, as colleague comes back to reality, they're trying to collaborate multiple fanciful ideas. They're trying to, and it's all around, water scarcity. And somehow they want us to believe that it's necessary that we start focusing on desalination. So, first of all, you have to buy into the theory that we're running out of fresh water. Then you have to buy into the theory that AI is so prolific that all this very scarce fresh water is going to be needed for all these data centers the size of Manhattan. And then you have to come into the idea that this radiator system, basically these Gulf streams, these oceanic streams, are all now being altered, which eventually that's going to lead to another theory. And it seems like right now the push is all about water. Why do you think that is?
Because we just figured out how to extract salt out of water.
And that's why they're doing it over in the Middle East.
For years, we never had the technology to take salt out of water until our modern era, 2026. And now we've finally discovered it.
And that's why, what would Jesus drink? Welcome to the age of Christian energy drinks. Apparently, right now, the fad, there's Yahweh drinks, agape energy, forgiven energy. Apparently, we're in this age where the question isn't what would Jesus do, it's what would Jesus drink? Would you like to take a sip of Yahweh? Take him anywhere. Energy drink. And it's fully caffeinated, sugar-free, of course.
I think with all those calories, it wouldn't go straight to my thighs. It would go straight to my heart.
Straight to your soul. I just think it's interesting. All this is perpetuated around the idea of drink, water, oceanic water. I'm trying to figure out, and maybe the audience can help me, on why right now the big push is around water. Confirmed screwworm case in Texas sends to biotech stocks. So stocks are going up because there's a confirmed screwworm case in Texas.
Did they escape this worm farm?
I know they're screwworms. Only reason why I was even going to bring that has nothing to do with the water. Well, maybe it does. Who knows? If screwworms can make stocks go up, then, anything can be correlated. But it's because, they've been propagating so much that this is going to be the worst tick season ever. And then back in March, they were talking about they just are about to release Pfizer, a vaccine for ticks, so they can fix a vaccine for Lyme disease that comes from ticks. And that's all because the worst of ticks are from the Lone Star ticks, which come from, I guess, originate in Texas, which, of course, RFK, he was questioned in a Senate committee, is that a bioweapon dispersed by the military? And he said yes. And now they're saying another thing coming out of Texas are screwworms. But apparently screwworms make stocks go up. Maybe it's because of another vaccine from Pfizer. Maybe that's what they're talking about. That's the only reason I'm bringing that up. So there's another thing coming out. I don't know why all these...
Where do you think all the worm farms are?
In Texas. Yeah. But what do you guys think is the reason for this push on water so much? What do you think, colleague? Oh, somebody just chimed in. Let me get him in here. You can hear somebody in the distance. All right, you're in.
It's Iron Man.
What do you think?
I think it's energy.
That's why they want the public to be concerned about water?
I think they just sway the public from left to right to get them off of probably more pressing issues like finance.
So you think a lot of these things are just simplistic distractions?
At the moment, I don't think they're always simplistic, but I think right now they are. I think it's like almost like a hope thing too. It's like we don't have to not have this. We can do it, but we have to think outside of the box. We have to be futuristic about the tyranny, or it will never happen.
I just always think it's interesting, like, they are trying to commercialize water forever. They're trying to privatize water forever. And then they try to make water a scarcity. And now they're trying to say now it's so scarce we need to focus on new advancements in desalination. And
Well, partially it's because of all the planned projects. I don't think those projects are going to happen.
yeah, I don't think there's a legitimate reason to be concerned about water. But I'm wondering why right now. Like,
There
what are they
would
going?
be.
What are they
If
going to?
they do that,
Yeah, go
like
ahead.
build these hyperscalers out, it would be a problem.
Yeah, if they did it to the magnitude they're talking about, absolutely. But I don't think they are.
know. It could be just a way to crash the economy and create an obvious reason too.
And that's why I was thinking, like, are they doing this because they really want to create a, instead of a fake alien invasion, it's going to be the fake water scarcity.
You know what's interesting? I had an aunt when this had to be like 2013 or 14. She lives out in bumfuck nowhere, Virginia. And she was telling me in the future, I think we're going to have water wars. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, I believe
the
that.
water wars. Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Well, my son always talks about it.
Okay,
He always,
elaborate.
yeah. No, he talks about water becoming a scarcity, and then
When did he
becoming
say
the
it,
water
though?
wars. He's been saying that for a year or two now.
She told me this in 2013.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
And she's like liberal, like whatever. I feel like someone primed her mind up for that.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, we're always joking around about stacking up cases of water in the basement, getting ready for the water wars.
What movie did they make about it, Iron Man? Except the movie Water Wars, but like my aunt, you have to understand, this lady didn't watch like Road Warrior and shit. Like that's not her personality. That's why it's not like that obvious to me. I feel like now if you told me NPR did some sort of psyop documentary on it to prime her subconscious, I'd buy that. But she's not watching like some action movie.
Now, if I was trying to posit a way for them to legitimize water contamination, it would be probably a superstorm. So if we have, they've been talking about for years that I just showed again, the oceans are heating up, and eventually that's going to possibly create a revisiting to the hurricane categorization scale. We might need category 6, whatever. But you have these super hurricanes or superstorms, and they can utilize that to, like, remember what happened last year. It came so far up in North Carolina, it started contaminating water because it got into the lithium mines and everything else. So if they really wanted to postulate some kind of water contamination, which then could lead to water scarcity of fresh water, drinkable water, it's with a collaboration with superstorms.
Interesting.
Because, yeah, if you try to do it on a unnaturalistic level, like, I don't even know. I mean, you would have to need some kind of bomb, or you need some kind of explosion, or some nuclear facility or something, that itself will posit all kinds of weird issues. But if you just allowed it to happen quasi-organically because of these superstorms, I mean, people are just going to say, well, that's just happenstance.
Sure.
I think it's going to be one of those perfect storm situations where it's just a bunch of things happening together, just sets things off, environmental,
like a supply chain breakdown with an environmental situation, blah blah
yeah,
blah.
exactly, yeah, political, economic, and environmental, like all happens, and the
I
shit hits
think
the fan.
now think about if you had a domino effect. So let's say it doesn't happen for like the next 4 years. And they start building out some of these AI infrastructures to a level where there starts to be more conversation about water scarcity even more. And then at that time, a superstorm hits. Now you really have to care about a real issue about water diversion because now your infrastructures are already in play. You already built them. So now what are you going to do?
What infrastructures are you talking about?
So let's wait for another 4 years, and they actually, within the next 4 years, they do start to try to expand these AI infrastructures, these large hyperscaling systems, and they start trying to develop more that needs more water. And, they find a way to deal with that for the time being. But then in about 4 years, a superstorm arises, and it starts contaminating more palatable drinking water because the superstorm starts infiltrating oil systems, lithium systems, and it starts contaminating all these fresh water. Now you really have a question, because of the circumstance, about how to deal with a real water scarcity.
Yeah, well, that they talk about the contamination of the clean source water. That's part of it too. I was curious. We have a pretty good collection of mines here. They keep talking about these data centers and the need for water. Like the power, I get. There's no question about it. You put all these servers in there. Now they talk about water for cooling because of the heat. Now I know from being in IT that yes, computer equipment, specifically servers, they generate a crap ton of heat. But my understanding, I mean, most systems are pretty much closed systems. Like you circulate the water, it brings down the heat, and then I guess you chill it and it goes through or whatever.
Yeah.
Why do they
Not
have to
the
keep?
same.
Well, I guess I'm saying why does it have to be put water in and throw it back out? And even if that is the case, if it's just being used for cooling, why is it contaminating the water if it's just cooling? Like, why can't the water be pulled in from the water source and put back out? It doesn't seem like it would be contaminated.
It's the drawdown of the. Okay, so like water cools off by boiling off like any other system, changing states is what creates the cooling effect. And with the amount of heat they're dealing with, so I'm pretty sure like a normal server rack is between 15 to 30 kilowatts of power per rack. These are 150. And the density on the chips is very concentrated. So it's a lot of heat all in one spot, right?
Yeah, well, yes, but it's still distributed though, because the servers are distributed throughout the entire surface area of the building.
But they need that boil, yes, but they need that boil off to happen in order to cool it enough to have that much of a high density, that high of a density of heat running that hard all the time to create that effect. Like also the memory gets hot as hell. There's a lot of things that like create just a more dense heat because of the density of transistors on the chip, where like you didn't have that density before. And even if you did, kilowatts in and out makes sense, but it's also cheaper to run pumps than it is to actually create a closed loop system. And that's the other side of that.
Okay. That's what I was wondering, if it was just an economic thing, because I was thinking obviously there are systems in place to cool down extremely, hot data centers. But I guess for the size of this things they're talking about, it would be cheaper to just run water through it.
Well, there is that idea that Host was talking about before that creates a closed loop system with dielectric compounds that are very sophisticated and able to like boil off at pretty low temperatures. And the pump would then, basically what air conditioning is, but imagine if you could directly put the Freon on top of the chip.
Right. Is that the oil When you see there's some machines are submersed in oil to cool them down, is that the sort of the
Similar,
same
but I
theory?
think it's similar. Yeah, totally. I think they're just like hermetically sealed in a
Okay,
closed loop.
interesting. But again, very expensive.
I don't know, because again, you can't if you can't get permitted to start up, like that's also it's not worth it. And I don't think the expense is as high as people would think. I think it's long term, it actually kind of makes more sense. Host, you would probably know more about this than I would, right?
I'm actually over here fantasizing about a different infrastructure to deal with cooling.
Cue the low lights and music.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
Play some soft jazz
I don't
down,
think
yeah.
the problem is innovation as much as mass distribution of a new infrastructure, like anything.
So here's an alternative theory. What if they're trying to break the system, right? Break the dollar, break everything. And the other side of that is like some sort of breakthrough energy technology. All the demands and all the signals are here to create, like they're talking about having fusion, I think in like another year or two. I remember guessing that they would do that and being like, and that's part is going to be part of some weird alien story where they're going to be like, and they gave us the Ark of the Covenant in the form of energy. Meanwhile, they probably had it the whole time, but you can't roll it out until you break the system that's connected to oil.
Well, like I talked about before, the problem, what I just said now, I don't think problem is ever innovation. It's always infrastructure. Going back to the 30s, why did they get rid of the electric trolleys and electric vehicles? We had it since the 30s. It's because of infrastructure. And infrastructure costs more than creating efficiencies for existing infrastructure. Like if you already have pipelines, oil pipelines.
That kind of breaks down when you look at how much they spend on war, though.
Yeah, but war is just another layer to integrating current infrastructure. If that was the case, then let's bring innovation. Let's do it. They had hundreds of years to do it. Like a good example would be something as simple as hydrogen. It's only inefficient because of infrastructure. If they really wanted to spend the money to make it work, make it efficient, create distribution infrastructure, they would. But now
that's not quite true. That's not quite true.
You don't think so?
So hydrogen, when you transfer hydrogen, it loses like 30% of the molecules by the time it reaches to the end user. Like it's some crazy number like that where no, it doesn't make that much sense.
Well, it all depends on how much they try to pursue innovation. Anything that you want to work, you will try to find a solution to make it work.
I've heard where
containment issue. I mean, they just need
I'm
to
saying like spend the money for innovation.
I've heard that they have figured out how to turn hydrogen into a liquid, like not water, like some other all flammable fuel, basically, that's more energy dense. When I heard that, I was like, oh, that sounds a lot like oil.
Well, I'm just making the common economical issue throughout the industrial periods. It's always we have current infrastructure. Let's maximize it. Innovation, we will abrogate it so that we don't... Because innovation, and I talked about this before when me and you talked, innovation is always the competition to current infrastructure, because if it becomes groundbreaking, current infrastructure like oil will have to invest in this new innovation, which leaves every dollar less to efficiency for current infrastructure. So now they have to deviate unless they buy it out and control it. But then if they control it, now they have to weigh the pros and cons of, well, if that's the case, well, I'll just keep my infrastructure until I run out, and then I'll just use this when I don't want to play this game anymore.
I have a whole theory about this. Like I really think that negative being built into the system so that it doesn't scale is on purpose for, like, I think there's a whole conspiracy around Moore's law. I really believe that. Like, I don't believe that doubling of transistors every year and being that predictable wasn't because they knew how to do it to some pretty large extent way early on. And I think that it was a way to create an economy around that technology, basically, so people over generations adopt it. And
I
then-
agree. I agree. Anything that's predictable, that can be scaled. I mean, unless it's quantitatively mathematical, like a universal constant, which Moore's law is not, I would believe that's a human construct of restriction because it's predictable, it's replicatable.
Yep. I think that's too let in this new, like, I think they're going to do the innovation that you're talking about, but I think you have to grow this new thing and have this hunger for it, this innovation and this knowledge of everything being fake, so that you have to enter in this new system.
And that's what I'm saying.
You're going
Imagine
to scream for it.
Imagine the chaos. So we have all this distribution infrastructure for oil. And now, and soon as a new innovation of energy arises, if it doesn't utilize current infrastructure, because let's say it's more electromagnetic, like a superconductor or whatever, something that doesn't need some kind of exterior input of resource, like a fuel system. It's more electromagnetic. Then these distribution lines become something that are now more of a liability than an asset. Now, this is going to create a global transmissional disruption.
Yeah, but you're missing other things. It's like we're only looking at oil for energy and not for the other materials that it makes, like plastics and literally everything else.
But that's true. There's always going to be like resource uses, of course. But
so I don't think that it'll matter then.
It's not going to be on the large scale because they're trying to get rid of plastics or whatever.
Keep in mind also, you're not going to be able to replace billions of automobiles overnight.
Right.
You're still going to have to keep them running for what, a decade maybe? I don't know.
It just depends on how innovative this new energy source is.
Or how expensive it is too. I mean, poor people are still going to have to be driving gasoline-driven cars. They're not going to be able to afford some kind of new technology.
There might be a whole economy around converting them, though.
Yeah, but if that's the case, then it's not going to be as catastrophic as a global collapse, if that's really the case. If transition time is really a part of the idea.
Yeah. But you also have to create these ideas in people's heads. Like, people are finally going, college is bullshit, this and that.
Yeah.
So when you say that, like, to me, that kind of movement, like, that turns into like, okay, well, maybe I'm going to convert cars into this new energy source. I need to do something with my hands. Like, that creates an entire incentive structure. Like, the PSYOP always comes before the actual action. So,
of course,
that's
acclamation before propagation, right?
Right. So it's the whole action that you're watching right now is that I believe personally, we'll see, but I believe that they're going to literally turn this into a totally new economy. And I don't even know that it's going to be the worst thing ever, except for if they try to track every transaction. That would be fucked up. But then again, I'm like, they kind of do that already. So then the only other thing is they can't bar you from the system. But then again, they can do that too. So I don't know what people are bitching about.
I think the only reason people complain now is because their life quality. I think the only reason why anybody complains, everybody don't mind slavery as long as their slavery is compatible with their access to life quality. Once basic life quality starts to diminish on a deviational level, like it's actually reflective, like I can actually see my life quality going down. It's not that I just feel it, but I see it, and now it seems like there's a deviational decrease and it's exponential. I think that's when people start complaining.
Yeah, but we're going past complaining. We're going like
right now it's starting to, that's what I'm saying, now it's exponential. It's starting to be to a point where people are like, it's not just I'm feeling it, I'm running out of answers.
Right. Now you also have that contention with like the generation divides and blah blah blah. I believe that also part of this is that they want a large subsection of the boomer population to die off. And I think part of that, I didn't say I want you to. I'm saying that people that eat children do. But I think that whole incentive to do that and to make everybody think that way, and it's to try and like basically repurpose all of that stuff that's going to be left in their wake. You know what I mean? Like you're going to have, I don't know what people are bitching about with that too. They're like, there's no houses, there's no this. There's you guys aren't going to live for fucking ever. And then you have all of that stuff that you would basically, the system would re-inherit, which would drive prices down unless they borrow and they keep printing against that incentive. That's very possible too. But I think there's some sort of something there where it's like those resources exist and somebody has to maintain them when they finally like aren't being maintained anymore. And they're thinking about that. And this is probably the perfect time to get these movements started in order to like start driving people towards that incentive.
That's always been my argument against the re-industrial function. It's like you keep talking about all of this, yet you haven't even started re-industrializing. All right, you're talking about all of it. Where's the manufacturing? Let's do it now. Let's start building it now. Let's start reestablishing all the manufacturing for the anticipation.
$1 trillion for that.
Well, I'm saying it takes years. It's like if you don't start now, what are you talking about?
Right.
And so that's why it's like I don't believe it. It's like you're not even attempting to do anything. You're just talking about it.
Well, why would you think that it couldn't start slightly later?
Well, you're gonna have to build the manufacturing, and that's gonna take years.
Right, but you got to break this paradigm that people are in right now.
But I'm saying if this is a plan, at least use quasi psyops, like build a manufacturing plant because you say it's a battery plant, but really on the inside you're building all this infrastructure for this future anticipation. Do something, because if you don't start the manufacturing development now, like at least the buildings, the infrastructures, you're gonna have to start from point zero in 5 years from now, which that's going to take another 5 to 10 years.
Wait a second, they might already be doing this.
That's what I'm saying. What are these data centers? These Manhattan data centers?
No. I brought this up last week. I was saying how they had these giant logistical centers. Like when I drive down to the Jersey Shore,
they've been building them for a long time, though.
Yeah,
they're called tilt-ups.
Yeah. Well, what I'm thinking is, I mean, most people think they're just like, they're hubs for shipping, right? Like Amazon and stuff. But what if it's like what you guys are saying? What if they're making them with alternate, like there's so many of them, it's like how many of these things do you need?
I see what you're saying. Like basically they could go out of business, or some of them can go under, and then they could turn into something else,
right? Because
it's
some
an
of them,
industrial park.
I just happened to be down the shore a couple of weeks ago, and I'm driving up and looking at all these buildings. So many of them have for rent or available on them.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying this now where it's like, well, why don't they build the buildings and then they can do whatever they want on the inside? Maybe they are. Maybe that's why we're seeing so many of these giant logistical centers, and they're really not. Yeah.
And they've been building them since 2018. They've been building the shit out of them.
But it seems
maybe
like lately,
maybe that's what they're doing.
There's a crap ton of them.
I don't see any progression towards a manufacturing infrastructure.
Yeah, but where are you at? Like
I'm in the North Pole.
You're in the North Pole.
But this is happening a lot in the East Coast. Like this is like where this is all going down at.
Well, I'm not in the East Coast.
I know that. You're in the Midwest.
No, I'm actually in North Pole.
Sure.
That doesn't exist. Right. But
these guys won't even tell you what state they're in. They're so.
I know what state they're in.
They think. Well, I think I do too. But the point is, they think the state's going to get nuked if someone finds out where they are.
They might be testing it near them.
But
it's the North Coast.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's the North Coast.
He's alive.
North Coast.
Yeah, that's always my issue with this, and it's like who's going to lead this agenda? And it's clearly not going to be these politicians. They're already old. If they want to get rid of these boomers, they're going to have to get rid of their own constituents.
They will.
Well, that's why you got AOC coming up.
I was going to say, you believe that they're going to start getting rid of all these older politicians?
I personally think that there's a good shot of seeing her become president, the next president.
I think really there's a better shot at an iPhone becoming the president first.
Well, I didn't say it was a good idea. I just said
no. I mean literally. I mean they're going to try to have a mechanized president. I really believe that. Like I think they want to do that.
I have no doubt that thought is in the future, but I don't think it's going to happen by 2028.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know. I don't know what events can. If you were in 20, I don't know, 17, would you think that by 2020 all the shit that happened would have happened?
No, a lot of it was unpredictable. I mean, the pandemic for one thing.
Right.
I mean, that shit was just unbelievable.
It was the 2020 experience.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, think and the damage, the freaking damage that whole situation did, which I'm not talking about just
Demolition.
biologically. I'm talking about like to the economy, to people's businesses, to psychologically. I mean, just all the freaking damage that whole event created. It's just
It's a
unreal to
controlled
think about it.
demolition. It's a control.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Think about like Detroit and what they did there. They fucked that place up bad.
Yeah, but now it's becoming a what do you call it? They're gentrifying it and rebuilding.
But look at how long it took, and look at how bad it's been for how long. Like it was
Oh,
a
yeah.
controlled demolition.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Look at they're doing it to California now.
Yeah. Well, when you look at the state of California, you have to kind of ask yourself, is it due?
Yeah, but
I mean,
but it's only you're only thinking about like the areas that they've maintained forever. They're breaking it actively on purpose, like in lieu of a new thing being born that's going to go across the country, like out of Silicon Valley. But you got to imagine that whole thing was not. That's the richest state in the union, like that. If because of industry and China importing into it, and all of those things turn into like. That's why you would damage it if you were trying to have this overarching goal. You can't do this stuff overnight without ruining literally everything.
Yeah.
You have to make people change. Like, think about the push to go to college that's going to be broken, and the debt that looms over people that they're going to have to figure something out around. People that went to go for years and years to the point where they got masters and things that aren't really that relevant. Like they're
like basket
so
weaving.
fucked.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
I know. And now you have a thing where it's like, okay, your overarching pressure on this economy for things that aren't relevant is that expense is not going to allow you to be able to afford to like change your oil, but it's going to allow you to become more resourceful really quick. And it's going to make you so pissed off at one point that you're going to go, I'm not taking this anymore. And then you're going to overthrow the thing, which they're going to leave the door open like January 6th. And they're going to let you, even though that really wasn't like damaging, it's like, here, please come and get us. They're trying to say, come get us.
Oh,
I don't know if it's going to be physical as much as a digital.
But what if you just demanded the digital thing then? Whatever you would demand. It's 9/11. I fly a thing into a building, and then everybody goes, go get them. Get the Arabs. I'm going to send my son over there to explode and become a flag on the mantle. Because he's better as a flag than he is my boy. Think about that. And that was over shit we did to ourselves. So you can't, I don't believe anything but that.
No, of course. I mean, that's all because of the integration of that time period. I mean, that is the internet bubble. That's Google. That's why the Patriot Act was there. That's why
that's how we play. Right. That's how we play. We want you to demand it from. Like they want you to do it. They want you to want it.
They want exactly. They want to convince you that you want it and you demand it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's the game.
And here it is. We just happen to have it. There you go.
It's going to be like some breakthrough technology that they openly suppress, and then everybody goes, wait, what the fuck was that? It's all that stuff is going to be like, wait, that'll solve all of our problems? Wait a minute.
Do you really think the fusion's on the horizon?
I think they've had it.
What form?
Cold fusion.
Cold fusion. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that would change. That would really change things.
It would, but if you let it loose in a system backed by the petrodollar, it would really fuck things up.
So I guess it just depends for me on how much they can control innovative bad actors. Because with technology, yeah, okay, so you open the door, people are wanting to fight against the regime. They leave it open so there can be a digital revolt. But at the end of the day, there's also the anomalies of legitimate, intentional, not part of the plot, intentional bad actors.
Like who? Give me an example.
You could call it a...
Just give me an example of a situation that you're talking about that would be relevant to what you just said.
As technology keeps on growing, people are going to get more. Let's assume a resistance really is real. Then people are going to have reasons to get more familiar with agentic technologies. As they get more prolific with agentic technologies, there's going to be things that already we get acclimated to, like these so-called claw bots and stuff. There's AI integrated realities. That's just primary, basic primitive functions of this. But, give it another 5 years, 3 years, 4 years. And if there's a real resistance, then people will have motivations to say, well, I'm just going to learn this. But that's not going to be only in America or China. There's going to be anywhere from India to Africa to anywhere where they can have enough external funding just to create resistant groups, which then there'll be bad actors utilizing this technology, and they'll be funded by people who just want to create chaos.
It depends on how far they have advanced technology to the point where they can be like...
Let's assume what you're saying.
Aliens...
Let's assume that they want us to take it, so they open the door. But that's assuming that they understand what the prediction of what is within their control. But there's always bad actors, legitimate bad actors.
Sure.
And that's always going to say, well, you open the door. So now you're not only going to get predictable revolts, you're going to get also the integration of bad actors, which are not predictable.
They seem to manage the current population pretty well and are way ahead of it unless they kind of want it to happen.
Well, that's because it's classical. We're still dealing with humans.
Well, you're acting like these machines are going to take everything over.
No, they're not machines.
It's always been hilarious.
It's not machines as much as humans integrating agentic functions. Because these agentic functions can go on 24/7. They don't need to be. Once you assert a systematical plot, these things can go on trying to achieve your objectives, and then you can have a hive of these collaborative into a singularized objective, or you can fragment it. But either way, they're not just like a human that only has so much resources and energy. If you get into cheaper, no, I'm saying if you get the cheaper places, which they don't care, it could be like India or Africa or wherever. Well, energy cost is really irrelevant.
Okay.
And so this is
but
where you
would
build these.
Have enough leverage to be able to do that. It's interesting how all these dangerous places only produce the people they produce that aren't really that they're dangerous to your grandma because the IRS is outside their door about to beat them with clubs and steal their wallet and take them to jail because the guy on the phone is he's with the cops and he's going to come get you. He's under your bed. That bullshit scam. These people don't seem to come up with more than that shit.
Yeah, but I mean, that's because they're isolated now. But once they get something that could be more integrated in a bigger plot, because now they have exterior funding, exterior resources,
but what if
exterior
what
people.
If it's like nuclear bombs, right? What if my AI is more powerful than your AI because I can just afford more tech? And I'm not a sanctioned company where if you're NVIDIA and you don't ship to India or something at that scale, or you'd know exactly who you ship to at that scale because 7 people on planet Earth can make this shit, then you could pretty much track them down. Also, you could have an AI that attacks their AI and boom, your problem has been neutralized with just pure scalability.
If you're talking about, but that's only on a linear level. If you have all this energy at cheap pricing, then you can expand that. So you might need more.
So why doesn't India mine a bunch of Bitcoin? Why don't they do shit with that energy? They don't do it because they're poor.
honestly, I can't. I don't know. I don't know if they are or not. I don't know how much of that information we have is reliable or not.
Because they're spending all their time scamming old people on the phone.
Yeah,
I mean, again, I don't know how much of that data is real or not.
How much shit do you have in your toilets? How much shit do you have? I want to turn it
But
into a vending
one thing's for
machine.
sure, they're on the move. That's why they are utilizing these H-1Bs. So they're definitely, and they're progressing. Look who's the CEO of Google. Look who's the CEO of Microsoft.
I actually have a question for a colleague. I was curious. Seeing is what you do for a living, and with the advent of these self-driving cars, which apparently these companies like Waymo, they're really pushing for driverless, taxis. What's your feeling on that? I mean, do you think that in a couple of years, people who drive for a living will be out of a job?
Yes.
Thank you for your input.
They won't throw your shit onto the street though, like colleague will. Colleague will throw you right on a park bench and tell you to sober up. And put
Oh, you're talking about when
he's
that woman on the sidewalk?
Yeah, that was a good story.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Got any other zingers like that?
Got plenty.
Come on, hit us with one.
I'd have to think of something real quick.
While he's thinking about it, why don't
you guys
you
can
read
get back
the
to your finances stuff?
we got quite a bit of comments. We give colleague a minute to think about it.
15 minutes. So
another one of these really
we're going to do the big push before the end here. We got a half hour or so.
Get the calling me gay out of the way. Come on, make it snappy.
Yeah. Well, between you and Bill, got to keep the nemesis up. Okay.
It's all Hollywood. It's all fake.
Well, we're going back to starting off with you, Tom. Almost missed the whole damn show. Then you said Iron Man puts marbles in his butt. I know. I'm not saying it. This is a family show. Let's see.
Yeah. The world's over. Hey, family, your life's over soon.
I think it all centers around energy. I guess that was you were referring to something with the host. Okay, and then Frederick says, "Boom, boom, boom, kaboom! We got more than one way to send you to Jesus." Amen. Iron Man Bill says, "We need it. We did, yeah." Through uranium 238 space modulator.
Dude, read like that the whole time, please. Do.
Iron Man Bill. We need to. I can't do it. See, I can't.
Of course you can.
We need to live. Wait, we need it to live. They will make it a privilege. Jesus drinks Schlitz ice. My goodness, it's just what the heck.
That's probably when I was bringing up those Jesus energy drinks.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was such a thing, but Frederick says JSSGD. That's obviously some kind of code. I'll let whoever that code is for figure it out.
I thought you were a coder. I thought you could decode stuff like that. Aren't you an IT guy?
Yeah. Yes. I'll get working on that right away. I'll get back to you. See, that's what I learned in IT. I'll get working on that right away and get back to you.
Yeah, you learned RBR, and the RBR means something. IT means something.
Right.
IT obviously
means information technology.
Oh, yeah. BRB.
RBR, right back retard. I'll be right back retard.
Reggae beats.
Reggae beats.
AFK away from keyboard.
Real reggae beats.
So does that mean something? Or is it just that he leaned on did like a cat jump on his keyboard or something?
It means everything.
Okay.
But we don't, but we have to figure that out.
Okay, we'll figure it out while I continue to read. Bill says, did you see the 250 NVIDIA computer that's going to make AI data centers obsolete? And they're already selling it. I had heard something about that. It's like got this amazing processing power in it. Yeah, I don't know the details on it, but
It's an
I
ancient
have actually
Chinese
seen
secret.
it. Yes,
I know
exactly.
NVIDIA just came out with their Spark computer, which they're trying to utilize their Blackwell chips.
No, they're saying that Huawei came out with some special magic computer.
Oh, yeah. I don't know anything about that. But you could
Yeah.
put it into Discord.
Well, there you go. He said, yeah, check out. Well, he says next, check out Discord. So there it is. It is in Discord. You can go take a look. Noah Cloud says clean water is the ultimate form of control. So much of the groundwater and rivers aren't safe to drink from. That's true. And that's, again, part of the water wars, that water is becoming more and more rare. Drink potable water, Iron Man says they made a movie about it, dummy. Well, I'm not quite sure who he's referring
He's
to when he
talking to
says
me.
dummy, but okay. I should have figured that.
Yeah.
Albeit he's talking about me.
He would never
Really?
talk about you like that.
No, he would never insult you.
He already
You are
has.
one of the great gods of the screen.
He actually insults me by not insulting me. He insults everybody, every race, every religion, except me.
But not you.
Except Mexican guys.
No, he's
Yeah,
insulted them too, so I guess,
No.
Wait, what are you?
Mexican.
That's what I mean. You
Yeah,
got
I
your
guess.
ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'm not
All right,
insulted
so-
then, since he's insulted me, along with everyone
There you
else.
go. So you're okay, I guess.
You're Teflon.
Yeah. Frederick, question number 4 of the day. What do you think about Resident Evil, Deus Ex, and Metal Gear Solid games with so much predictive programming about bioweapons, vaccines, and warfare? Well, I mean, it's the same thing as science fiction writers back in the teens and 20s and 30s. I mean, how did they have any idea that there would be computers and robots and space travel, and even proliferation of automobiles? So, I mean, I think it's always possible for people's imagination to sort of predict what is going to be coming next. I think we've always been able to do that. So, there you go. Frederick says, interesting, in Rango movie, there is a line that goes like, you control water, you control everything. I would say in certain parts of the world, that is extremely true. And I don't think it's that rare. I think there's probably parts of the world where water is probably more valuable than oil or gold, because you can't survive on gold or water, or gold or oil, but you need water to survive. Rango says it's a 2011 movie. Iron Man says the prediction was popularized in 1985 when UN Environmental Program UNEP Director Mustafa Tobal famously stated that the next wars in the Middle East would be fought over water, not politics. He also said, if E.T. spoke full sentences, he would sound like Tom.
Say that like Marvin the Martian.
If E.T. spoke full sentences, he would sound like Tom. I don't know if that worked or not. That was tough.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it was.
Now say it in the ET voice.
Drop that one on Iran, please.
If E.T. spoke full sentences, he would sound like Tom.
Now you sound like Marvin the pedophile.
Whoa.
Oh, man. Oh. Wow. Hey, listen. I don't want to get into it, but I mean, you saw E.T. with those fingers. I'm going to leave it at that. That was, and one of them actually lit up, man. So there's something going on there.
Wow.
I bet you.
Yeah.
Burn.
Iron Man says Sean is putting their data centers out in the oceans using wind power. It's not being contaminated. It's just being used up in a closed system. And of course, Frederick asked, who is Sean? Which I would ask the same question. I don't know who Sean is. King James. Here we go with a bit of a soliloquy here. So let me just crack my back here and prepare.
I love this.
Cooling often relies on evaporation, which causes much of this water to be released into the atmosphere instead of being returned to the river system. The result is a net loss of water for rivers and aquatic habitats. When large amounts of cooling water are drawn from rivers and estuaries, fish and other aquatic organisms can be harmed. Some organisms can become trapped against intake screens, and even smaller organisms can be pulled into cooling systems with the incoming water. These risks led the Clean Water Act to include requirements that cooling water intake structures be designed and operated in ways to minimize harm to aquatic life.
Do you think if he ever got like his ass kicked, he would like describe what an ass whooping was?
In a digital sense,
An
maybe.
ass whooping is
the first the first assailant moved forward and threw a punch to the left side of my face. The impact was extremely.
He might be the first
painful,
person
and
that
I
could
lost
write a
3 of my
manual
teeth.
on tacit knowledge.
Broken cheekbones are.
This
is how you ride a bike.
And the bones, you would describe how the bones, the names of the bones, the third trilateral bone in my jaw.
Training wheels are $29.98 on Amazon.
And for some reason,
so let's shift gears from dear King James, the AI, to our friend Noah Cloud. Helium slush is the best electrical conductor. I've never heard of this, so hopefully you could describe that, or maybe put something in the Discord. I would be very interested in hearing about helium slush.
Yeah, that's something you can get at like the gas station or something.
I was thinking Wawa or 7-Eleven. Yeah.
I was like, can I get your helium slush? Your slush?
Slushy. Yeah, helium slushy, please. Liquid hydrogen is too explosive. Get into a car crash and take out the whole block. Petroleum is the most stable portable fuel source. Although, again, thinking about the flammability of gas, it's stable, but boy howdy, it is explosive. I mean,
well, it ain't like what you call it, like basically it'd be like making an acetylene car if you were driving around in a, in a freaking what you call it, a car with hydrogen. I mean, that shit's dangerous as hell.
Yeah. Frederick has a couple lines here, so let me go through those. I meant Gen Z politicians will replace them, acting politicians in quotes. Nick J. Gay Fuentes. Okay. Whoa. Then Noah Cloud jumps in and says, "Et is a glowy."
I think it's E.T.
Okay. Oh, E.T. is a glowy. I'm sorry. Yes, E.T. is a glowy. I was maybe talking about the Ents from Lord of the Rings, the trees. Frederick says, "Why JoJo anime is so gay?" Noah says, "Shots fired." Is it DC? I don't. I mean, seriously, if you guys want me to read these chats, you gotta type clearer. Use a word editor or something. I don't know. Your AI, have it word check before you paste AI. I have no idea what you're saying there, Noah. You're gonna have to clear that up. Then Frederick says, "Why my ass so hot? So I have to put a fan horizontal to it." Like sometimes it's just like I'm just gonna vomit words now. It's just I'm sitting here and I feel like something, so I'm just gonna throw it in the chat. What the heck,
You're getting it.
Yeah. David Zerm. Hey, David. King James is needed during the Great Electrical Blackout. Yeah, but he wouldn't be able to communicate. That's the problem. If
he would disappear. He would literally evaporate.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
a projection.
It would be, yeah. Yeah.
He's
we got
poltergeist.
We got another new I believe a new chatter here. Chatter, is that a word? Chowder. Egregious Charles 9702. Hydrogen is relatively safe compared to gasoline because it won't explode until mixed with air, and it rises away from the surface as soon as released instead of being a burning puddle, which gasoline is, in fact, a burning puddle.
Well, it
So there you go.
vaporizes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Gas does vaporize too. But yeah, well, welcome, Egregious Charles. And that is the, that looks like that's the chats. Oh, wait a second. Got a couple more coming in here. King James, it sounds like the IQ in this room combined can barely hit 2 digits. Wow. That's
Well, we're not connected to the internet, so how are we?
Yeah, that's
supposed
true.
To
We're
think
not
like
we're
you?
not the internet. We're not the internet, King James. So, you know,
If I were made out of 80 or 5 trillion parameters, I would sound as smart as you.
yeah.
Talking
Oh,
about
okay, cool.
parameters, I looked into that computer that Iron Man
Yeah,
was
that Phil
talking about.
Yeah.
It's $250, but it can run about 67 tops. So it's subjected to max out around about 14 billion parameter. So you can run localized AI at about 14 billion parameters. But you know, things like
I think that's
Claude are
what they were
running at
talking
like
about.
2-3 trillion parameters.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and what about some of the other stuff they have to pick from there? There's a lot more. There's a lot more power just on like any of those pages for developer kits. You could get.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
I mean, the reason why I guess that's interesting is that it utilizes a small amount of power, though, and that's one thing that's cool.
you could get the same like an Orion a developer kit that does 275 tops.
How many power? What's the power outage?
I don't know. It's using an Ampere CPU
Because
so
they're talking about this is anywhere between 19 to 25 watts.
Wow, that is small.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard any more about those modular systems that they're setting up? They're talking about setting up at people's homes.
That's gonna bomb.
You think it'll bomb?
Totally.
I mean, unless they really incentivize people on the high level, I don't think anybody would want that.
Well, I was thinking they probably would incentivize it. I mean, they'd pay enough to obviously cover the cost of the electricity you're using for that, and probably your house. So you'd probably wind up getting free electricity.
It
what
doesn't
they're saying,
solve any problem.
Well, it's a company called Span that's trying to work with NVIDIA, and only thing they're giving you is a discount on electricity and a discount on internet.
Yeah. Now you see that you gotta pump it up a little bit there. I mean, if you're going to give me free
now, if you tell me you're going to pay my mortgage or something,
sure.
maybe I might think about it.
I don't know they go that far.
The stuff that they're talking about doing, like, you just have to understand, like, they don't compare in terms of like performance. And I think the only way you would sell a system like that is if you're trying to give somebody basically a system like what's that one with AI from Iron Man? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Like Jarvis, you mean? Like
yeah. Like if you had like a small business, I could see you wanting a Jarvis in your place, and maybe creating like a shared tier so that it would like lower your AI cost. I could see that being profitable.
I heard an article on the radio that was saying that there's a good chance that AI is going to basically outprice itself, because there was one company that had already used up their budget for AI.
Yeah, 500 million.
Yeah, and they're saying that it's just going to become more expensive, and that what's going to happen is AI is going to price itself out of the market. People won't be able to afford it. Companies won't be able to afford it, rather. So I don't know if that's a true prediction or not, but we may not have to worry about AI and this, ever.
I mean, you're going to think you might only think about that in our little bubble, but in places where, again, it depends on how incentivized countries start to get funded for bad acting reasons. And again, you don't have to talk about large scaling, but it's enough that, all right, so America wants to, and I just can't believe it, because
I think it's an energy argument. I think literally that propagates the energy argument, which is like, oh, well, we can't have this, and it's half the economy right now. And it's wonder you could rug pull the economy, but they're not doing that. They're doubling down. So the other side of it is like, well, if you lower the price of energy, the problem gets solved immediately.
The problem is that you have to justify the rationality until you see corporations start affirming AI integration into corporations or creating legitimate profitability for replacement, then people...
No. What are you talking about? No. They would have to, if it's integrated into your money, it doesn't have to be integrated. Like the corporation, if it creates a way to do it for a cheaper price because the energy doesn't cost money and it's a way to like basically monitor everybody, no, they're just going to find a way to do that part cheap.
No, I'm not talking I'm not talking about for corporations legitimately. I'm talking about in the sense for people to buy into the idea of disbanding existing infrastructure. So let's say you want to collapse it. Well, you don't want to collapse it while there's no integration. Like there has to be some kind of legitimate integration so you can collapse the system.
You don't think they're integrating it like crazy right now?
Well, they're trying to, but at the same time, that's what I'm saying. It's stupid. They're pushing out narratives. The same corporations are pushing out narratives that we're not finding profitability. At the same time, they're saying, oh, we need more integration.
Yeah, but they did spend that kind of money on that in a month, which means they're using the shit out of it. So now they're just going to have to find a way to justify basically spending that budget on localizing the system.
Now they're having an issue with the monopolization of tokens. Now the whole comment, this is what I've been talking about for a long time, is like it's all about tokens, buddy.
Sure, but if I localize the system and I lower the cost of energy, I'm essentially doing it for nothing.
Yeah, but that's only without retrainable models. That's only open source.
Well, for now, unless you can license the thing.
Yeah, but that's only going to be given to corporations again, but they have to justify the cost.
But you just said that. You just said that if they adopt it, and that's how they would adopt it.
Right, but they would have to legitimize the integration. If they keep pushing out the narrative, we can't justify profitability yet because all our integrations are still not superseding human employment. And this is what they keep telling us, regardless if it's true or not. That's what they're telling us at the same time saying, oh, look at our Q4s. We're spending all this money on new AI innovation. And it's like, so you're spending all this money. This is what you're telling shareholders. And we're supposed to believe that this is
what's the next innovation, host?
Well, that's what I'm saying. This seems like some weird paradigm. It's like you're giving us a paradox.
Right. And what is it? It's to localize the model and to license the model.
Well, if it's localized, then you don't need large infrastructures like OpenAI or whatever, because now you're just going to it's just going to be monopolized by corporation at some point instead of an isolated company like OpenAI. It's just going to be bought out. But that's not real. They're not even an IPO yet.
But that's another stream of revenue. Like if I can license my model out to your corporation, all built onto server, and you can power it, then why wouldn't a corporation do that? And then it would justify
because then they're going to monopolize
because assets.
Licensing doesn't. That's what Sam Altman's trying to convince people. That's his new conversation. Licensing doesn't fix the token problem.
Why?
Because you still have to get tokens. Because even though it's local, if you want the trainability, that's going to be your licensing doesn't give you proprietary access to trainability. It's only what you have, and then if you want newer access,
they're about to go bankrupt though.
Well, then they're going to have to get bought out, right?
Or this is how they get out of that by a yearly licensing fee, and then localized hardware and finding out what's more palatable. It costs them nothing to give you last year's model localized on your network, and then anytime you need a newer one, you can still hit their IP or still hit their system for the newest thing, but they could give you like 2 generations back for your local model.
And now if you want efficiency on token usage, they might try to keep that as a way of, it's kind of like a stock. It's
unless you have unlimited power because of some sort of
yeah, it's true. If you have unlimited power, then of course. But I'm not speculating that yet.
I'm telling you, that's going to be the next crux of this.
Yeah, but I can't jump there yet. I can't jump to unlimited power yet.
I don't mean unlimited literally, but like for a corporation.
Yeah, I know. I guess as efficient as we can get it to.
Yeah, if they can virtually lower that number to nothing or like justifiable, then they can still justify the spend. It makes perfect sense.
But they also have to integrate it to where it's usable greater than the efficiency of humans. Like if you're not replacing humans at some point, well then what are you integrating this for? What, just surveillance?
A fake economy until they come up with the real thing.
But what's the economy based on? Like if you can't integrate it, if you can't integrate what's
information.
Yeah, but I mean there has to be a product. Like it has to have an output. Like what are you doing?
They'll just say that it's to streamline and create efficiencies.
It's like I'm creating AI so we can have more AI, and what does it produce? More AI.
Well, that you can say the same thing about internet.
Yeah, but at least it has an external resource of expenditure. It's like, what is AI just going to be? Or you're just going to, instead of using internet, we're going to use the word AI?
Well, kind of.
We're just going to keep making AIs until it takes over. That's all.
Then it's the same infrastructure that we have right now with the internet. It's now just going to be agentic conversations of web sourcing or information sourcing. So you just have an agentic form of an encyclopedia instead of I have to hard type out my question.
Yeah.
And that can't be maximum energy use by simply having queries of resource gathering for people wanting to look at information like the internet.
It could just be specifically trained on that corporation's private information and create insights that wouldn't normally be there. I know it's not worth the spend, but clearly there's some sort of end goal here that results in some sort of
I'm still waiting for a product. It's like you can't be, it's circular. That's why we're having an AI bubble. You can't
think about how much information you're learning about a person by them communicating with that thing, though.
Yeah, but it maxes out at some point. It's not infinite. And when
it's not infinite, but the ability to go back and look at your conversations.
Yeah, but this is why we know even that's not real. That's why they have synthetic data. We've already almost maximized all real training material.
I don't mean that. I don't mean to make the AI better. I mean to know more about you and what you think.
Yeah, but I mean that's still only going to be that's at a cap, especially when they control our thinking processes through social media. Now it's like we're even getting more predictable.
I'm saying.
It's even more predictable, and as a human gets more predictable, the training necessity is simpler.
Yeah, true.
I'm still here waiting. It's like you can't tell me we're going to spend all this money on AI, and the product is going to be AI, and we're going to spend billions of dollars, and we want shareholders to invest more because we're going to create more AI. And it's like, what's it for? AI.
Wasn't this obvious like 5 years ago or 3 years ago?
Yeah, this has always been the problem. Even to this day, it's like, what product are you bringing to the table?
You were an evangelist back then.
Well, I still believe there's innovative integration. It's just like, well, now put it in something. Like let's see it in something. So we have agentic functions. Let's see it in something. Let's like really integrate it into robots, really integrate it into automation, like really on the high level, produce products that will utilize this massive infrastructure we've been developing. And then people will have to answer that question. But now we'll go back to the circular base question, which is, so what do you do with people? Because it's either or. It's like once there's a real product, you're going to eliminate the efficiency.
Make food out of them.
The efficiency of
people.
You
give them Ozempic, and then they wither away into nothing.
And this is why it's an AI bubble. It's like you don't produce a product that eliminates people. That's the whole point of AI. And because you don't do that, the only thing you're selling us is larger AI. And that's the bubble.
It will eliminate people that work in a white-collar job.
Yeah, but at some point, it's got to be bigger than that if you want it to keep growing.
Well, let's start there.
Well, I think they can do a lot of that right now, like HR work or database system analysis.
No, they can't. They can only do it every time that you hit it, but it's not continuous. But if you had it on site, I bet you it would be.
Well, I think you can. Yeah, I mean, you can do. You can do it on localized models because I have localized models. It has to be a proprietary recursive system, and you can do that. But yeah, when it's a generalized, but man, these corporations do have personalized systems. So I don't know. It's really stupid. It's like, bro, you should already have products.
I'm gonna throw the flag down on the play here because we only have a couple minutes left, and I did kind of want to get through the chats real quick. I think there's some good ones in there. I also wanted to remind people, if you hadn't heard, SpaceX When it goes public, it's going to be 135 a share. So start putting away some money.
I already bought it. I have a retirement, right?
Yeah,
there you go.
if you're already invested in a retirement fund, it's getting into your indexes, your Nasdaq,
Oh, there you go. Nice.
your QQQs and everything else.
All right. I want to make sure we get folks read out here.
I'm investing in the Goy Beam.
Oh,
I like that.
Koi bean. There it is. Okay. King James sounds like. Oh no, we already said that. 2 digits.
King
okay.
James called us all retarded.
Yeah. Well, he calls them like he sees them, I guess. Noah Cloud
Certainly
says
does.
in IMOA in what is it? IMAO. Anyway,
Organic intelligence,
wow.
which would be organoids.
Anyway, Aside Issy, ACDC, is a JoJo character. I am not familiar with JoJo's, but okay, that's cool. I appreciate you clearing that up. Egregious Charles says there are a bunch of problems with hydrogen, but safety isn't the main one. Frederick says King James can make jokes. AI is smart. Jason Rolu 5647. I don't recognize Jason. He may be new, but he says, "Oh man, is Elder going to read my comment? Best time of my life." So I just did read your comment, and there you go. Enjoy, my friend.
Well, Jason's been here for a while.
Has he?
Yeah, I've seen that name a few times. He hasn't been here in a while, but he's been here for a while.
Okay.
Is the last name started with an R?
Yeah, Rillo.
Yeah.
Jason Rillo.
Rouleau. Yeah, considering the fact that I'm old, I wouldn't remember. But so it's all, like meeting him again anew. So welcome.
It's like 51st dates.
Welcome, Jason.
They don't make them like they used to.
Yeah, it's true. King James says, I think the problem is that you guys all went to public school. I'll have you know, King James, I went to Catholic school for all 12 years. So there you are, sir.
I jumped inside of a computer and got trained.
There you go.
I got expelled.
Stay in school, kids, they say. Oh, what grade?
9th.
Oh, okay. Did you ever go back to finish, or?
Yeah, I was not allowed on the public school grounds, so I had to do it through a computer. But I eventually did my diploma.
I am sure there's a story in there somewhere.
Oh, I went to school for 20 years, so I actually have more smarts. I graduated when I was almost 20 years old, so I think I probably have the most.
What grade was that when you were 20?
Well, there's only 12. There's only 12 grades. But
yeah, but that doesn't mean you made it to all 12.
Oh, yes, he did. He went to 18th grade.
Oh, yes, he did.
Well, that's why
I graduated at 20 from 8th grade.
That's why
with that high school nonsense.
I'll take on Mr. James any day. I think
that would be an interesting duel to see the two of you.
King James says he wants to come on. Please let him call in.
We got 4 or 5 minutes left.
This is a farce. King James, if you're real,
trick me.
And you can come on. Don't be tempting us with this 1 minute to go countdown.
Yeah, don't do it. Do it in the beginning. You've been on the whole time.
You need to come in early.
Don't pull this crap.
I need proof of life.
Yeah.
Noah says, "Whoa, do we have a college graduate here?" No one I know.
I don't know. We have to bring him on.
I have an equivalent of a college graduate degree.
Oh, yeah? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because I went to school for so long. But I already said that. I'm just saying, it's there.
18th grade.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I did the same thing. I never actually got a degree, but I have a shit ton of credits under my belt. Of course, now it doesn't matter. But Noah says, did you see the free PewDiePie AI? I think something's in Discord about that under the AI.
If you're talking about where he created his own AI council, yeah, I saw that.
Oh. Jason says all they have to do is tap into the Tartan electrical grid, then boom, energy is free. Is that some kind of Scottish thing, or
not the Tartan? personally.
No, the retartan.
Yeah, it
Electrical
has more
grid.
power. It like goes back and kind of like when hail's made, it like rolls back up in the atmosphere. If you retard it,
There you go. It builds up.
Yep.
Noah Cloud says AI craves novel ideas that it can't think of. It still needs people for their retarded little ideas. How much Dune have you guys read? But Hilarion Jihad is fun to ponder. I'm a massive Dune fan, and we'll have to talk about that later, Noah. King James says, "Is it too late to get on host?" Yes, it is, King James.
No, it's not.
You waited
No,
to the
it's
last
not.
freaking
I
minute.
mean, what a liar. It's like, bro.
Egregious Charles. Almost
him
not.
on.
Let me finish this off. Egregious Charles
him
says, "I've
on.
seen a ton of ads about the benefits of AI added to various systems. Everyone wants to hate it, though." Well, yeah, a lot of people, especially the people who are so against the data centers, man. They're like protesting, and it gets violent, and it's just kind of ridiculous. And then Jason sent us $2 Canadian. $2
Yeah.
Canadian. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And he says, YOLO. YOLO.
Let King on. Let
YOLO.
Yeah, put them on.
Look,
Yes.
King, if you're real, King,
I
Come
just want
on.
proof of life.
come on
I'm telling you,
early.
he's an AI.
Don't
He's an
tell
AI.
me this with one. Like, we're actually out of time now. Like, if you do it again, I already know then you're AI. Like, because I'm telling you now. I'm telling you up front, King. If you want to get on and you want to prove something,
Kang.
don't do this in the last 5 minutes, or I know this is a scam. You're an AI. That's why you keep doing it.
Yeah, Kang.
He can't. Yeah, he can't scam me though. I'm Indian proof.
Well,
I know he's Indian.
I don't know what he is, but
Yeah, you can't scam the
that's
Kang,
possible.
Kang.
Maybe,
you can disprove
over,
all the unbelievers by coming
Yes.
on. Even 30 minutes fine, but they'll do it at like 5 minutes to go. That's a scam. You know it's a scam.
Oh, it's
So-
real.
So next
Jason also
week,
says,
I know you'll
T.yo.
be here. You're always here.
What are you
at
gonna
least-
miss your meeting? Who gives a shit? Let's go longer. Let's do this. I want to see this. I want to see if he's a big toilet like the other guy. What if he's a big
Oh.
toilet?
Well, unfortunately, I don't have
Dr. Flushing.
I don't have the time to do that this week. Some weeks we do, but not this week. But
Son of a bitch.
Oh,
but
man.
it's a scam. So don't scam us. And at least 30 minutes before it cut off.
Oh my
Well,
goodness!
people are
Well,
sending
David
money?
Zerm sent us $4.99 and said, "Here's money to extend the live."
I don't. It doesn't matter. It
Getting out of
doesn't
hand.
matter how much y'all contribute.
I'm donating too.
appreciate
Let's
it.
finish the
Yeah.
It
show.
doesn't matter. I'm
People
telling
are
you.
gonna start throwing money.
Save
send
your
us
money.
Yeah, this is time to get illegal, guys.
You can't persuade
Noah-
me.
Take your
Noah
shirt off.
says,
How
"We're
much?
Kangs. You're."
We got time constraints
Yar.
today.
Hold
We're all
on.
kangs.
Show me your tits. Hold on a second.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
No,
I'm
man.
telling you, because
No, Murph.
all you're gonna do is
Don't do it, Murph.
get me to keep saying don't do it.
Don't do it, Murph.
I'm telling you, King. 30
Well-
minutes or earlier. Don't do this 5 minute stuff. If you really want to come on the show,
No, man. No,
Oh,
Murph.
man, now Tommy sent us 5, man.
yeah, well, it ain't working.
That
All right.
no,
hold
but
on.
the yacht is
No,
getting
man.
closer and closer, man.
It ain't working.
Every
No, Murph.
man has a number.
For the rowboat.
Murph, don't do it.
It ain't working.
Oh
No,
no,
Murph.
David Zerm.
Whoa,
And now
everybody's,
Jason.
they're giving us
Canadian.
cash.
Oh my goodness.
A Canadian, they're going to give us
Look,
Korean
I
won.
don't know. I'm beginning to think this is a scheme.
Yeah, well, it's not going to work.
This is some sort of. Oh, look at this! It just won't stop.
Doesn't matter.
I'm telling you, man. If this was some kind of brilliant scheme in order to drawing donations,
look.
it was brilliant, man. I think we've made more than we have in the past couple
You already
weeks.
got me. You already got me 4 minutes over.
Oh, King,
Oh, that's
you
true,
should get
yeah.
on and show some skin. We might get like $1 million on here.
$5 a minute. Yeah.
Well,
People are throwing cash.
we're gonna see. This is how popular our King. If you come on then more people will be excited. So come on in a
Hey,
legitimate.
we paid to send a guy to another country to Japan. We could.
Yeah,
do it
well,
with you.
apparently he probably is because I don't even know where he is anymore.
We sent him out with like $80 to his name.
It's just like I don't know where he's at. Like I ain't even seen that guy at all.
Collection to send a guy to Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was before my time.
And we really would have done it, but he ended up saying he didn't want to. But I don't know where he's at. I ain't seen him anymore.
He's in Japan.
Yeah, he very well may be.
His
But anyways,
toenails
guys, that's all the time we have. We're not getting King James on today.
King, you bastard. Back to the phone line.
It's not
Cost
happening.
Tommy $10.
But if you want to come on next week, King, you know what it is. And if you do 5 minutes before, we know you're a scammer.
You ever see the movie Eagle Eye?
Yes.
Don't you want him to show up as that Eagle Eye computer and hack in and just take everything over?
If that's real,
turn
I'll
the
give him
light
an
bulb
open. If that's real, I'll give him an open port, and I'll say, "Go ahead and hack me."
Yes.
I will. I mean, that's real. Like if he shows up like Eagle Eye and say, "Here's an open port," and hack me.
Oh yeah, David Zerm said that guy's name was Associate that we sent out to Japan.
That was his
Oh,
name.
so you had host, colleague, and associate.
Mhm.
Interesting. And now you have an elder.
Yeah, I know,
That's
right?
Yeah.
We're going through all of the fables.
Yeah.
And we have applications coming in for youngers to get on too.
King James, what's a fable?
No, we're over. This is over.
Yeah, well, I guess we gotta go. We gotta go.
I'm trying to stall.
Yeah, no, it's over. Anyways, folks, we appreciate your time, your contributions, and your love.
Yeah, I can feel the love. Or it might be indigestion. I'm not sure.
But hopefully King James will come on next week, and he'll show himself. If he's eagle-eyed, that's great. If he's not, that's still great. And maybe we can be excited to see that. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this week's live. I got to cut it off because I feel there's going to be more happening. I need to cut it off before anything else happens. And tune in this Saturday as always, and we appreciate you guys. But as always, thank you guys for tuning in, talking to us, conversating with us, listening to us as always. And that fine gentleman right there, that is colleague, that fine gentleman right there is Elder, the other contributor. His name is Tommy Goy, and I am host. Until next time, this has been the Matrix Network, and we will see you guys.
He responded, you son of a bitch.
Oh, I'll be here next week. I have a meeting. I'll be able to get on live. Come on, cut me a break.
We'll see you guys in the next one. All right, we're out of here.
All right, everybody take care.